He says if you need any others, drop by her office and they'll give you more.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Thanks, Fred.
All right, we ready, Lyman?
Fred, you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Fred.
Let me sit down.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, it's, what time is it? 9:02, we're ready to start our work session of our commission meeting. We have Sylvia and myself here. Jamie's going to join us online from the One Utah Summit. So Lyman and Mac and Tammy in the room. So Tammy, you've got the first item to brief us and update us on the eclipse taking place on, is it the 14th or the 13th?
The 14th.
14th,
Thank heavens
okay.
it's not the 13th.
All right,
Because
very
that would
good.
be a Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Friday,
yeah, that'd be weird.
Friday the 13th. having
With our
eclipse.
luck, yeah.
All suspicions would abound.
Okay.
Yes. So, as you're aware, we are having an eclipse event on the 14th of October. We've been planning since before January. At this time, we have 75 to 80 response personnel coming in from local, county, state, federal, and tribal partners. We also have UNHS helping us with EMS as well. So we've got partners from all of our entities involved, resources coming down. We have a comms trailer coming down. UCA, which is the Utah Communications Authority, that's over the 800. They will be down and bringing in.
You want me to invite the governor?
No, please. My stress level would probably just tank at that point.
Not one more.
I'll invite him if you want me to.
Please don't. Yeah. So it's going to be a very busy day. We're looking at quite an influx of people. We're anticipating maybe 6,000 to 10,000 people within our county. Where it's a statewide event, we're going to see dispersed people across the state. The thing is the eclipse is going over most of the national parks, which are in the center of the state. So that will be one thing that will save us, because they're going to be like in Richfield, Kane County. So it's not just San Juan that's going to be in the direct path. So those counties are sharing in the eclipse as well.
That's good.
Yeah. So we have planned 4 to 5 posts that we will have set up with responders, EMS, fire, with rescue apparatus, and law enforcement at those posts. And law enforcement presence will be pretty much spread out through the area that there will be direct line of sight of the eclipse. We do have some air resources coming in as well.
What specific areas are you targeting?
The whole
Obviously,
county.
huh?
The whole
Yeah,
county.
I know, but obviously goosenecks
Yes.
is a big deal.
Mhm.
Have you got people set up at natural bridges or any
Natural Bridges is a national park.
Okay.
So the national park will
of those
have,
handling that?
they will have their internal handling the national park area.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's multi-jurisdictional. You'll have parks, you have BLM, you have UDOT, you
I see
have,
something on my not Facebook, but my text message the other day is something about the Navajo Nation. Are they involved at all?
we have invited the Navajo Nation to all of our meetings.
Welcome,
Navajo-
Jamie. We're doing an update and a report from Tammy on the eclipse right now.
Okay.
So we've invited Navajo Nation, and we have law enforcement from Navajo Nation invited in on our meetings as well.
Okay.
But traditionally, they don't.
They will not be responding.
Okay.
Won't participate.
Yeah,
Maybe Commissioner Harvey can address that.
yeah.
Yeah, just culturally,
They
they
don't
will stay indoors.
We do have some residents from like responders from UNHS that they will be manned at one of our posts for EMS. They'll be manned at a post. And I do believe they're having a presence down in Monument Valley as well.
Oh, okay.
So, and I asked them if it's something that they felt like they could do. I didn't want to make them do something that they didn't feel culturally they couldn't do, and they said that it was something they'd planned for. So we do have partners in that area as well. Law enforcement, highway patrols, bringing in resources, sheriff's office, they have their resources. From what I've seen from past eclipse events, it's mostly a traffic event. After the eclipse is over and before the eclipse, there's this influx of traffic and then everybody leaving. So it's
Yeah.
going to be mostly a traffic event. I spoke with Montana and Colorado a week and a half ago. And they sent me their after action report, and it was traffic.
Yeah.
It's the one thing, traffic and porta potties, and that's about what they said. So we do have communication resources coming in because that area where it is going to be happening is really sparse, especially with 800. So we're bringing in some communication resources from UCA as well as the state. They're going to help us out with that. Response personnel will be present the day before, the day of, and the day after. You'll see a higher presence through those days, but they'll start ramping up the week into it. So we almost have our incident action plan finalized. There's a couple things I have to finish to get that plan done. Our communications plan is in the final stages. Medical plans have been finalized, and what that is who's going to be where do we send people, how do we get them out of there. Like I said, anticipation of 6,000 to 10,000 is what we're looking at. We have been doing community awareness for this since July. It's been on the Facebook page for the county and emergency management. One of our messages has been just to alert the people that live in the county. It would be a good idea to stock up on the essentials: milk, fuel.
Gas up your car, huh?
Gas up your
gas up
car,
your car.
just because you're bringing in that many people. And if you want to go somewhere and gas is low or there's no milk, it just makes common sense to
And we should do it earlier so we don't do it the same week there.
Yeah.
do it the week before. The first message we send out, people were not so receptive to it. So the second message we sent out, we crafted it a little differently and just said, if this is concerning to you, then please consider getting these supplies. So we've been running that since July, and I just got a message this morning from the state liaison. Fox News Channel 9 picked up our post that's been running for months now and has just posted it. So we're out there.
Good.
So anything I can answer for you that I have not already touched on as far as the eclipse event?
I'm hearing, because my granddaughter has a wedding that day, that there are no rooms in San Juan County.
That is
Sure,
correct.
They have been booked for months.
We have been at 95% occupancy since January of this year.
For that date, for the day before or whatever.
Yes,
They booked early.
they booked early. Some people have booked this out 2 years in advance.
I imagine all the Airbnbs are booked too.
Yes. We've been at almost full occupancy since the beginning of this year.
Mac's gonna rent his big shed out.
I know, you're gonna have to. Huh? Yeah, lawn space.
We anticipate a lot of dry camping, especially out in the BLM area. BLM's going to see an influx in
they
that
had
area.
They have a press release on the eclipse this morning, I think,
Yeah.
or at least a message to the commission that I noticed this morning. So
They've all all of our partners have been great partners to work with. We've all tried to craft our messaging to be the same messaging as far as dry camping. Be careful with your fire. So yeah.
What has been the response from the state? Are they offering any help, or have they gone dark?
Oh, I've had the state helping me all along.
Have you?
Yeah, my state liaison has been a partner with me. We have the state communications coming down and helping.
Okay.
As long
State
as
fires,
yeah, we did not request more from the state, but communications, because that's where our need is. They are also at their level, their EOC is going to be activated because it's a statewide event. And when we first started, it was trying to figure out where everybody fit, because it's not just a San Juan County event. So at the state level, they have a planning session just like we do, but the state's there to pull in any assistance. UDOT's been an active partner. I like all of the state levels that I deal with. They've been great to work with. State Fire reached out last week and asked if we needed them, and I had David coordinate with State Fire just because of the dry camping. There might be fires down south. So I think all of our state partners have been a really great resource and asset to help us. Even the Weather Service over in Grand Junction, I put in a request yesterday for them to give us like a specific spot forecast for the area.
Good.
And they'll be reaching out with updates so we'll know what the weather is and stuff. So can't say enough about our partners. They've been amazing. Federal, state, tribal, UNHS, the hospitals, they've been a part of it. It's been quite a collaborative effort.
Jamie, do you have any questions of Tammy?
Hey, good morning, commissioners. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning.
I'm sorry I joined late. I just wanted to know what Navajo Nation and UNHS have in place. Do you know what their efforts are in regards to kind of keeping the public informed and maybe safe?
So as far as the Navajo Nation, I have not seen or heard what their response is going to be. UNHS has been a very active partner with us as far as this event planning, and they are going to have people in the area of Goosenecks and as well as Monument Valley and within the community that they're housed in there in Montezuma Creek as well. They've been a very active and very good collaborative partner through all of this.
I'm sorry, maybe I need to ask the question better. What is their focus in regards to keeping the public safe from UNHS? And I don't think you said anything about Navajo Nation.
I do not know what Navajo Nation has planned. I've invited them to all of our meetings. We have Navajo Nation law enforcement and the Navajo Nation emergency manager invited, but I do not know what their plans are. UNHS, their focus so far, I can't speak directly for UNHS, but I can tell you during our planning meetings, they've got plans for like first aid at the event site and running care in Montezuma Creek. Does that answer your question?
It does, Tammy. I appreciate the response. My best recommendation would be if we can find a way just to do a courtesy announcement in the Navajo language, maybe something to the effect that Solar eclipse is bringing folks from around the country to our area. Please be safe and be aware. Just something short and simple like that. And please take care of yourselves. I think last time I remember, Aging had done like a contract with Ed Tapaha. Ed Tapaha would be a good person to do a really simple message. That way, everyone throughout the county, South End, would feel included and being reminded that there is a solar eclipse event and just to take care of each other. Culturally speaking, for Navajos, the traditional ones, you're not going to find them walking around outside staring at the sun. They're going to be confined inside, indoors, and possibly doing other spiritual things in their own internal families to give respect to the sun and what's happening out in nature. But I would just recommend if we can just do maybe a simple message of, reminding the public we have tours coming in from the country to view the eclipse and just to take care of each other and to be mindful. Something simple like that would be great, I think. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will reach out to Ed. I met with him yesterday, and I will meet with him again and ask him to craft a message, and we'll get it posted on our social media.
When I had a meeting with Ojero last week, last Sunday, I mentioned about the gas and the water, and I think it'd be nice to include that so they'd be aware to be prepared.
What was the response when you mentioned it?
I just did as a part of my report to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of made them aware that lots of people be coming and.
Elaine and her team have also been in communication with the Navajo Nation, informing them as well. So we've been trying to communicate as much as we can out our whole entire message for, like I said, back in July, probably earlier than that, on the economic development standpoint, just trying to inform everybody to get ready. We've been watching the Navajo Nation as, they chose to close Monument Valley, their part, down during this time as well. And so
Four Corners Monument is closed as well.
yeah, so that'll push more people out of those areas that would tend to visit on to the other areas. And so
Do
This-
we need to have a message in the San Juan Record about the event?
We could. We tend to reach more people on social media,
On social media, okay.
but I can definitely put one in the record as well.
If you put a message, they would cover the south part. It would be nice to put it in the radio, and maybe Commissioner Harvey can be the speaker. I mean, just a brief message. It costs money, but people listen to the radio quite a bit. As they travel around.
Yeah.
We can contact Big D and Bubba and have them mention it.
Yeah.
So Elaine's published a press release for the San Juan Record 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then she's on the radio this Friday
Oh, good.
making the announcement. And so
Good.
So I
That's good.
think we're
I know
covered there.
Elaine and her group have been doing lots of
since
outreach.
January.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
she was right on it.
Yeah, we've all been economic development,
Yeah.
Emergency
law
operations,
enforcement,
everything.
emergency management, fire, EMS. We've all been on it since
Yeah.
2022.
And it's more than just an opportunity for one time visit, so it'd be nice. I don't know some of the things we can, I could probably talk to the manager of the store, make sure that they're aware.
They know.
Because
yeah.
sometimes they're busy and they don't realize,
Yeah.
like for the 4th of July, we almost run out of hot dog buns and hamburger buns. And so I think they need to be prepared for,
Yeah, we've had the cities and towns involved in those discussions and meetings as well, telling
That's
them the
good.
same thing.
those
Mention to your stores to stock up on bottled water because that's
Yeah.
what people will be looking
Yep.
for.
yeah.
And so, yeah, we've been
Most of the
communicating.
time people bring their own food if they're camping, but sometimes
We hope not. We hope
run
they buy here.
out. I know, we want them to do that.
Yes. Yes. And as well as just in a further answer to Jamie's questions, we've been working with our state tribal liaison through emergency management, and she works with the tribe. So she has been working with the Navajo Nation as well. She's for all of the tribal entities housed within the state of Utah. So she's been working with them on this event as well. So
That's good.
We've kind of communicated that message up. Make sure you have porta potties out, throughout the county, the cities and towns, so that they're also prepared. I know that some of the cities and towns have special events that will be taking place.
Yeah.
Within kind of their borders as well, and so
Let's hope we don't have wind. We had a nice fall festival in Blanding, and the wind totally.
it was horrible, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yep.
all the
Those
vendors, I think, should pack and
Bouncy
left.
houses wanted to blow away.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
One year we had one of those houses going, and they had children in, and that was rolling and tossing. And this time they had tie with rope better, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So the glasses that you have, you kind of see those. Elaine and her staff produce these and have been distributing those out to all of the parties throughout the county.
Yep.
And so
That's good.
we've been trying to get ahead of it as much as we can.
yeah, my department purchased glasses for the responders. We're making food packs that will go out with them at their posts so that they'll have food and water the day of the event, and we're just going to throw.
Did you need help with that?
Pardon me.
Did you need help doing that? I mean, just boxing or
I may take you up on that.
Yeah.
just.
Let me get through this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah, because we got them
We can set up
little
a
care
conference room and
packages
have
and yeah, we thought we would. You can't ask them to go out and spend the day out there without feeding them and giving them something to drink. So we're gonna give them a little care package and throw some Eclipse glasses in there. So
Cool.
Good idea.
it's kept us pretty busy.
Let's see, I'm trying to look up. So the eclipse is what? The 13th, Friday?
The 14th.
The 14th?
We will have a briefing meeting the 15th in the evening,
The 14th is what day? Saturday?
Saturday. And the briefing meeting will just give everybody their post assignments and allow us to give them the resources that they need. And then everybody should be on site the 14th in the morning.
Okay.
So what time of the day will this be happening?
9:30.
In the morning?
So we're asking everybody to be on scene fairly early because traffic will start. And the event only lasts about a half an hour, but I'm anticipating late afternoon before anybody can be released just because of the traffic leaving the sites.
I'm just looking at my calendar to see if there's a conflict. On the 11th, we have flu shots
Yes,
here
here
at the county building.
in this building, you will
You had
get.
your flu shot?
Nope, I never get them.
You can come and get one this year at the county.
Every time I got the flu shot, I got more sick than the
Gives
other
you the
years.
flu, huh? Yeah.
Yep, because it gives you the
I
flu.
don't know.
But I'm sure that all of the employees know about the flu shots already.
Yes, Crystal has been alerted to the flu shots, and I'm sure she'll send something out to that.
Yeah, I'm going to get mine. I do every year.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm never do.
When I
You're
used to do
You're the no flu
daycare,
shot
On the
camp.
no flu shot camp.
when I used to work around little children, I would get sick with so many kind of thing, and I got a few kind of shots, like pneumonia shot, things like that,
Yeah.
that kind of help. But I don't know. I just have bad luck. Every time I go to a doctor, so this never happened, but just in case, we're supposed to inform you. Okay, I got it, and I
Yeah.
got it.
I've got 6 little disease people that run around my house that will bring it in to our house.
So did you get the flu shot?
No, it comes naturally to me. It's through the
They
kids.
got yeah.
Usually one gets it, we just hand the bag down. It just goes in cycles.
Just
It's
pass
a
it
good thing
around.
it's a good thing for people to do. I just gonna.
Okay, Jamie, does that help you with the update with Tammy? You okay with that? I think he's okay with it. So next on our agenda, Tammy, the Aging Services and Emergency Operation Department overview.
Yep.
Give me a sec here. Let me find you. Which one do you want to do? Aging?
Let's do aging first.
Okay.
And then we'll finish with emergency management. Since we started with emergency management, then we'll finish with emergency management. So, okay. There we go. So we're going to talk aging a little bit this morning. My program has been authorized by the Older Americans Act, and that was passed in 1965. It's been reauthorized in 2006, 2016, and 2020. It's up for reauthorization again, I do believe, this next year. Our funds come from county, state, and federal funding, and our budget's been pretty much 75-25 for the last 4 or 5 years. What do we provide? We provide several programs. And who qualifies for our services? Adults 60 and plus. There is 1 or 2 programs that we can bring in a small percentage of 55, but as a general rule, we're at 60 plus. Some of the demographics that we have to collect as far as federal and state dollars, we have to collect their income level for our program, age, geographic distribution, household status, ethnicity. There's definitely a nutrition risk score that we have to get for the home delivered meal clients. And also on home delivered, we have to collect what they call an ADL and an IADL, and that is an activity of daily living and an independent activity of daily living. So that lets us know if the client's homebound or not. So that just breaks down a little bit of what we do. So and I just explained those 2, so you can go through the next 2 slides, Mac. ADLs and IADLs. So that just lets you know, can they get up, transfer, can they cook for themselves? So these 2 slides, there we go. The nutrition risk score is something that we have to collect as well for home delivered. Congregate, it's not a mandatory ask for nutrition risk score, but for home delivered it is. We do have an assisted transportation. So this is part of our program. And assisted means that they help the person from the house to the vehicle, out of the vehicle, into the center or wherever they're taking them. Assistance for somebody that has difficulty. Congregate meals. This is a meal that is provided within our senior centers. It is a group setting. During COVID, all of our congregate meals were shut down. We had to do to-go where they could just drive up to the center and pick up the meal. That's been hard to get everybody to go back to wanting to sit in the center and have a meal, because where we live, we don't have a lot of places where you can drive up and take a meal out. We don't have to-go food in our area. And when we made to-go food, it really was nice, but we have to get back to that congregate setting. So that's been a little bit of a challenge. We have our health promotion program, which it has to be evidence-based, and we have 2 programs that are evidence-based in the county. It's Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention. And myself and Natalie are both trained to be instructors in that. And the next one is bingo size. You're okay. And then we have our home delivered meal program. And as I said before, to be on the home delivered meal program, you have to have deficiencies in activities of daily living and independent activities of daily living. Home delivered meals explains the program. You basically have to be homebound. So that means you can't leave the home of your own accord. You have to have somebody help you leave the home. If you can leave the home on your own or with a walker, or if you can drive, that means you're not homebound. So homebound is one we have to be really careful of and make sure we follow the guidelines. We have what is called information and assistance. This is at all of our centers whenever our center directors or staff talk to our clients that come to the center, and they provide any kind of information or assistance, help finding stuff. That's what that is called. And we have the 4 centers, and I'll tell you where those are in just a minute. We also have legal assistance. This is a contract that we do every year, and we contract with Utah Legal Services out of Salt Lake. It's not a very large amount, so it's really hard to find an attorney in San Juan that specializes in like living wills and trusts. So we tend to just contract that out with Utah Legal Services. Nutrition education is provided at our centers. So in our newsletters, we try to put an article, drink more water, milk, any kind of nutrition education we can do. This is provided at the centers through newsletters, handouts. And then other services. Other services are pretty much everything else that we do, and it also pays for the utilities at our centers, gas, oil, and grease in our vehicles to get people around, our maintenance, and this does have a small portion of funding for those clients that we call 3B, and they would be clients that maybe their income levels are too high to qualify for our in-home programs, so we can put them on home services, but know that they're on a 3B level. Transportation. So we do provide limited transportation. It depends on if the center is fully staffed or not. It's really hard to pull someone from the kitchen to do a bus trip. So if they're fully staffed, we generally try to book a trip. LaSalle will take seniors to either Moab or Grand Junction for trips, VA, shopping. Monticello, Blanding, and Bluff, they'll take them to Cortez. Bluff will take them sometimes to Shiprock. I think there's an Elder Fest in Shiprock. It either happened last week or this week that they're taking some seniors there. So that would be a transportation trip. Sometimes they'll pick the seniors up, take them to a local store, pick up their mail. So that's where transportation comes in. And then because transportation is such a hard thing in the county, and we've been at this for, it seems like 20 years, Bruce, trying to find a way to provide transportation for our seniors. We've developed a voucher program because we just do not have the infrastructure to provide transportation. So the voucher program allows the senior to find somebody that can drive them to and from their appointments, but they have to be non-emergent medical appointments. It can't just be, I want to go to the store and get something. It's for medical. And we'll pay off that voucher mileage for the person that drove that senior for the voucher. So it's gone over fairly well.
Just use the state mileage rate.
State, federal, and county.
Okay.
Pretty much everything we do is combined state, federal, and county. We do have offerings for online activities. This came about due to COVID. We can schedule any one of these if they want to do these activities. We just ask that there's 5 or more. During COVID, we were just doing anything we could to get people active in connecting with each other, and we were holding classes of 1 or 2, and it felt like we were burning the candle at both ends trying to hold a class for everything. So we just asked that there's a class limit before we even hold an online class, because it just takes so much to get the prep up and stuff for that. So the ombudsman program, we have an ombudsman in the county, and that is Natalie. She goes to the nursing home, and she is the liaison between the residents of the nursing home and the nursing home itself. And everything she does has to be reported up to the state and federal government. There's no county money in the ombudsman program.
Is there available funds from the state?
For the ombudsman program, it's state and federal money. So the state has to match the ombudsman program, and then the federal government puts so much into it as well.
But they have funds.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We generally have more than enough in that budget every year that we don't have to put any county money in that. And then since I've started working here in 2003, there has always been a specific budget that has been set aside from general fund money that is the senior center funding. And this budget was put in place to help pay the wages of the staff, buildings and grounds, vehicles. Like I said, the majority of this budget is specifically just wages, any big, large items that we need to buy. If we need to buy a vehicle, if we need to do some improvements on the buildings and stuff, that's where this funding comes from. The Alternatives Program is a state of Utah program, and it has state funding, it has county funding, it has county SSBG money, and it has state SSBG money. So 4 different pots that we pull from. And this program, like it says, it's an alternatives program. It is an alternative to being placed in facilitated care. So this program, we can allow people that are 18 or older. So this is the one I was talking about, that they don't have to necessarily be 60, but we can only do about 1 or 2 clients because it's on a percentage base of that funding. But this allows us to provide homemaking, adult companionship, keeps the client in the home versus putting them in the nursing home. The caregiver program, this one is funded all state and federal. And this program is, like it says in the title, the caregiver program. So we have to take our services hat off for the senior or the person that needs care. And this program is for the person taking care of that person. So it's a really great program. It provides respite, training. It can provide homemaking for the person taking care of somebody that needs that care. The focus is really geared towards people that are suffering with any type of dementia, but it's for anybody that is a stressed out caregiver of an adult 55 or older. And last but not least, of the in-home, well, we have one more after that. So we have one more program that is in-home, and it's the Medicaid Aging Waiver Program. And this program, you have to be 65 or older, frail, at risk of nursing home placement, and you have to have Medicaid. And if you qualify in all of those areas, you can be placed on the Medicaid Aging Waiver Program. This allows you to have in-home services without being placed in a nursing home. And then we have the Veterans Directed Home and Community-Based Service Program. We don't have a lot of clients on this one. It's still fairly new to our in-home services. We've been doing it for about 6 years now. We have 3 veterans on it, and it's not even housed within aging, it's housed through the VA. So we've worked with the VA, contracted with the VA to provide this service for the veterans here. So if the veteran qualifies, they have to have the 3 ADLs. So the ADLs come into play here. If they have the 3 ADLs, they would qualify. They could be put on the veterans program. They could find somebody to provide them homemaking, any kind of care. This one was a hard program to get because, as you know, our VA is in Grand Junction. And at the time that we were trying to do this program, the Grand Junction VA wasn't ready to pick it up yet. So we had to go through Salt Lake VA, and Salt Lake VA had to be able to talk to Grand Junction VA for us to be able to pull the clients. So we had to go a complete different route to get clients, and we have them. We just have a very limited amount of them. But the past 2 months, Grand Junction is ready to start this program, and we're in their catchment area. So hopefully when they're ready to bring us on board for the Grand Junction VA, we'll get more veterans and provide this service to the veterans in our county. So it's a great program. Then we have the Senior Health Insurance Program and the Senior Medicare Patrol. And this program, the center directors, the case managers, and Natalie, they've all been trained in Medicare A, B. We don't have C, D. Any kind of fraud, they can meet with the seniors, talk to them about it. We have an open enrollment event coming up. The 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. So 4 days. And seniors can go and talk to the center directors about their Medicare and stuff. Then we have our advisory council. The advisory council is the senior center directors, the case managers, home health, hospitals, clinics, and each one of the seniors has like a president, vice president, secretary, and that's what the council is made up of. We develop the 4-year plan every year and then bring that plan here and have commission present on that plan. And every year, all of the stuff that we do goes into a program.
Tammy, can I stop you just a second?
Yes.
I got a call from some people in Blanding wanting to know if the county could fund more activities at their senior center. And
We have been working, me and her. been working.
and I told them, I said, you have a president, vice president, secretary that oversees what you do down there. I'd recommend you talk to them. They didn't feel like the communication between them and whoever's running that facility down there was amenable. And I said, well, the county is not going to fund. They wanted to do a lot of parties and activities and trips and stuff like that.
It was a 4-page document of activities, and I have.
They sent it to you?
Yeah, and I have addressed every one of those.
She have been addressed and she have been forwarding the email to, because I got the same calls. But it had taken lots of her time, and I tried to explain to them, is this being recorded? I would like a copy of this video. I'm going to show it to my friends.
It is being recorded.
It is being
Good,
recorded.
because I think they need to know what's happening. My thing where I stand is balancing the desire for them to do things and protecting our staff.
Yeah.
Because when you're understaffed and then you have more things coming your way, and when you have places like Moab offering you a lot more money, it may be tempting for some of our staff to say, and so, and I think that's what Tammy has done a good job answering questions, and sometimes have to be simple, and sometimes my suggestion to them is just to have one spoken person Is there multiple because we answer the same thing and sometimes we repeating and if we can have one person, they ask a question and they inform everybody else. But there are people with lots of good intention and good ideas, but also the balancing act for me and Tammy is we had to balance their desire and protect our workers because even we have a hard time finding workers, and so we need to kind of make their work environment now don't feel the stress of having company,
Yeah.
when you're trying to prepare meals and you have to trying to meet deadlines and so there's two sides that we have to balance, and I think there's opportunity to do that, and I appreciate Tammy because she's very clear, how we can maneuver this, but also I want them to understand that this is not the only job that Tammy has. Tammy has job. I tried to explain to them about when we had the flood and down up north and she's up. Doesn't matter what time of night or day she is there, and she had to respond and she preparing the clips. So I tried to explain both sides, but I think we need to do a little bit more. And I'm showing to them this video what is Tammy's all the responsibility she has, and what is available in the center, what has been done. It's just assignment of new blood, I always thought when somebody came new to my former job, they came, they had, but we need to recognize what has been done before and what is in place and trying to balance all that. And so I know they feel like they're being successful with the activity they're promoting. They feel really good about the place, but at the same time, is doing the balancing act. And I have the commissioner left, but basically you've been aware of what we're doing, but
Yeah.
so.
And I think activities are great, but my state and federal funding doesn't pay for activities. So if activities are paid for, it will come out of general fund. And if that's the case, then I have 4 centers that I need to do that equally at. It can't just all go to Blanding. It can't all go to Monticello. There's 4 centers, and I have to treat all 4 of them the same. I can't just focus all the funding at one center. There's wants and needs at all 4 of the centers. The last email I got, they wanted a storage shed. I don't have money in the budget for a storage shed. I put money in my budget this year for some buildings and grounds, but I have a parking lot in LaSalle that's gravel. It's not even paved. It's gravel. In the winter, it turns into mush when we get melting. Do I put in a parking lot there, or do I put in a shed in Blanding to put tables and chairs? I have to prioritize what comes first. And they've done some awesome things. I know there was a big push to rename the center and call it a social club, but I can't call it a social club because that
Funds.
it's the funds, and it
That's
makes
the thing. We have regulation and rules that kind of affect our funds, and so basically it's a form of educating the people and supporting our staff.
Yes, because
They wanted to call it the Blinding Social Club.
they wanted to call it the Grayson Social Club, which
Grayson Social.
yes, and they've developed their own social club, which is completely separate from the county, which is what needed to happen, because a social club as a senior center intones that you have to pay a membership to participate, and it's exclusive.
The certain papers.
And we
include,
can't
yeah.
we can't do that. Anybody from anywhere, they can even be out of the country, visitors to the county, and if they're 60 and plus, they can stop at the center and have a meal. We're open to anybody that qualifies to have a congregate meal, and naming things with the social club kind of closes that door, and we can't do that. So
Well, I know you say you had a four-page list
Yes.
of things they wanted
Yes.
and wanted to do.
And they have
I know they were pretty aggressive. They were organized, and I told them, I said, you know, you'll have to talk to Tammy. I can't give you permission to do anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad they contacted you so that.
Yeah, and I think you stepped out of the room for just a moment when I was talking about funding activities. That would have to be funded with county general fund.
Oh, yeah.
And if that's funded with county general fund, then it needs to be split equally
Be
between
equal.
all four.
Yeah.
It can't just all focus on. So
I think part is
Yeah.
just form of education, like I say, educating them what can be done and not done.
Yep.
In one end, and then at the other end, like I was telling her, what you out is supporting our staff. You know, supporting the, because we want them to feel comfortable too, and I feel like
Yeah.
we don't want to lose anybody because we have a hard time staffing our departments when people leave. So
we just have to tread softly and make all
Well,
ends
I appreciate
happy.
you addressing the issue, because I was kind of blindsided by the call and
Yeah.
really didn't know how to react to it.
Yep. And you have new seniors coming in that want to do things. You have seniors that have been there forever. So, and then you have staff. So you have to make sure everybody
kind of feels
is
and,
getting heard equally. So,
And Tammy has done a really good job of addressing. In fact, I like her way that she's been addressing her email. She answered that question in blue, so you read their comment then, and she's making it very simple so that it can be understood, including me. So I appreciate that, and I think that in the end it can work out really good. We just had to
Yep.
kind of educate and in some ways tell them what they can do or not do and support that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think showing this video today to is going to help to know what you know everything that you have in your plate, not just only the centers.
yeah. Yep. So that's about it. Aging in a nutshell. Everything we do goes into a state year-end report, which then rolls up. All the counties roll to the state rolls to a federal fiscal report. And the four centers that we are responsible for are LaSalle, Monticello, Blanding, and Bluff. There are 7 centers in the county that are owned, ran, and operated by either Ute Mountain Ute Tribe or the Navajo Nation, and their funding comes from their respective governing entities. So
And that's White Mesa, Navajo Mountain.
White Mesa, and then there's Navajo Mountain, Oljedo, Red Mesa, Tisnos Post, Denahotso, and there's one more,
Is there one in Hachita or
Aneth. So Aneth.
okay.
Yep. So those would be the 6 centers that are ran by the Navajo Nation, and then White Mesa is ran from Cortez. So
Well, I'm going to confess to you, I've been down to get congregate meals down to this center a few times in the last month or two, and
I think that's good.
Well, they had a good time there
They
in the
do.
Monticello Center. I went one time, I was just standing there, somebody grabbed me and started swinging me around, and I was hoping that my knees could
Yes.
take that.
Each
They're
center
line dancing
is
with you, huh?
each center is different.
They do
Yeah.
a good job. It's a social event
Yep.
It's-
for the people that go.
Yeah, it is.
They
Yep.
like to sit and visit. I walk in the room and I get all kinds of advice.
Yep. And I cannot say enough about the staff we have.
Oh yeah.
The center directors and the center staff, those are frontline workers. I mean, through COVID, they kept those centers going. They fed people that needed to be fed. They are hard workers. They're great people.
Yes, they are.
Great people. So,
Fantastic.
Yep.
A great report, Tammy. Is there anything else you have for us?
want to talk about emergency management?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about the other hat that has a bunch of little hats underneath of it.
Okay.
Each one of those hats has little hats that as you take it off, it's like those stacking dolls that you just keep finding more and more. So our emergency management team here in San Juan County consists of 3 of us. There's myself, Natalie, and David. None of these positions are dedicated full-time emergency management. Just like with aging, I'm split. All the staff that's paid from emergency management funding, we're required to have quite a list of credentials. I've put them up there for you to see. I'm not going to go through each one of them to be eligible for the funding that we do. And just make note that all of the staff has been trained to that level or above that level. So
I'm impressed.
thank you.
100 is really hard. So would
Yes.
you guys go through all those training?
I'm glad you took it.
Right before COVID started, I started the Advanced Academy, and I got through 2 sessions of the Advanced Academy, which is a week long for each session. And then we had to finish up the other 2 virtually. So that a week long it's 4 weeks. It's a lot of work.
What was that at?
The first 2 sessions that we had were held in Salt Lake. So they brought presenters from
Sure.
FEMA, and there were several of us from around the state that took the class. So, but just to kind of give you an idea, we are generally not first responders. We're following up. We are either pulling our plan, looking at what's in the plan, and we're coordinating things. So emergency managers kind of get thought of as first responders, and we're first responders, but we're generally not first on the scene because it's like, oh, let me go get my plan and let me get all my stuff to bring and help you with. So just to give you that idea. We prepare plans and procedures for responding to natural disasters and other emergencies and large events. We also coordinate response during and after. And I just wanted to give you kind of a roadmap of what incidences look like, what we operate in. So a type 5 incident is generally just like traffic accidents, small things, small fires, small traffic accidents. First responders are on scene, and it's usually done, really quickly. So it's not anything big, and it doesn't require a lot of resources. The hours, maybe an hour or 2. So the majority, if you want to go to the next one, the majority are vehicle wrecks, and I just threw in. We had a plane wreck
Last week.
Seems like we
2 or
have
3
quite
weeks
a
ago.
few lately, huh?
hmm And this one would be a type 5 or a type 4. We had resources out there, but they weren't there long.
No injuries.
No injuries. So it was, for us, it was a smaller event. A type 4, it tends to go into multiple operational periods. So an example of a type 4, if you go to the next slide, Matt, that would be monitoring the flooding this spring. So every day or every other day.
This is what it looked like?
This was 2021. This would be Pack Creek when it first started cutting off that bridge. But every other day I would send you guys like a situation report. This is where we're at as far as flooding goes, and I would monitor the rain gauge meters. So it's type
You
4.
anticipating still flooding from that Pat Creek fire for how many years?
Probably
As long as
at
there are
least
trees
5
up
more, as long as the trees are there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and if you go to the next slide, Mac.
Do we have to do anything in Pat Creek as far as cleaning up the branch and materials, things like that? Or they? I noticed a lot of them are up on the bank, you know, and
In the creek.
yeah.
So a lot of the dead in the creek, they want to use those to put in what they call the rock and roll structures.
Oh, okay.
And they will layer the logs in there and help take the energy out of the
Now,
flow.
who's going to do that?
Whoever we contract with
Okay.
to do the project.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that a lot of those will be taken out of the creek area.
Okay.
And then if they want to do any cleanup, they would have to do it themselves.
The citizens down there.
Because it's on private property. We tried when the fire first happened, we talked about going in and cleaning up, and defensible space, from what the state fire FMO told us at that time, it's not for beautification, it's for protection. So
Is
you
the
can
home
go
that's
in and
being built
protect.
down there now, is it one that burned?
Yes.
So it's kind of up on the hillside there, but it's one that got.
Yeah, we lost 3 homes.
There's 3.
There were 3
I
homes.
didn't notice any other homes being built.
I'm not sure if they're rebuilding or not, but
Okay.
from what I know, there were 3 homes.
Okay.
So
Were they all kind of in that same area?
I think there, it's been
You had one to the bottom. I think.
3 years.
Yeah.
There was one in the bottom. There was some damage.
Oh, there was one in the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
There was
Closer
some
to the
damage towards the bridge.
community
Okay.
center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Looks
Yep.
like they're still working on a culvert down there. That
they will be for a while.
A couple times. Yeah.
Yep. So the eclipse event that we're going to have is a type 3 event.
Oh, wow.
That means we're bringing in a bunch of resources. We've coordinated. So it would be a type 3. It's taking resources, time, energy. The Pat Creek fire that we had was a type 2 event. So it brought in a bunch of people. It brought in a type 2 fire team. So that would be an example of a type 2 event. And a type 1 event, we have had one of those here, and that was in 1998 when we had the manhunt. That was a type 1 event. Brought in state, federal partners. It extended weeks, months, so it would be considered a type 1 event. So,
We had a deputy get shot there, didn't we?
yep, so that would be that. Emergency management is not emergency medical services. Sometimes you'll hear people say EMS and emergency management, and they think they're the same. We're not the same. And for the county, my emergency management department is different than public health's emergency management. Their emergency management focuses on public health emergencies. Mine focuses on pretty much everything. So, and then I just put in a sample flow chart there. It's as accurate as I know. The tribal entity side might be a little bit differently because they operate differently than we do. But pretty much it starts cities and towns and then to the county. And then the county, if it gets too big for us, we'll reach out to other counties, other regions. If it gets too big at that point, then we reach out to the state. And if it gets too big for the state, they'll reach out to the federal government. It just follows the chain up and it follows the chain down. We found through COVID, through trial and error through COVID, that emergency management works pretty much the same tribal. The chapters would go to their representatives, and then that would go to the tribal emergency manager. They would coordinate with the state of Utah tribal entity, but the tribe and the state of Utah would coordinate their resources and then go up to federal. So kind of just a little roadmap.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
We appreciate all you do.
Thank
And I'm
you.
sure we just know 1% about the stuff you do. And so there's times you didn't even mention this. There's times we were up north and it was snowing really bad here, and all of us were up there
We're closing the
looking
roads.
at your
Yeah.
reports about the roads and
Yeah.
everything. And so, there's that probably is just the top.
It scratches the surface.
You still a lot more than you do, and we appreciate that because we all busy. We are busy as Mac is busy, as administrator, as a commissioner. We have lots of responsibility, and it feels good to have somebody like you that you're watchful and you keep us posted, and we appreciate that. And I'm sure there's no words we can say that would do justice to all that you and your staff and whoever works with you and
Thank you.
works, and we appreciate that. I want you to know you're very appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
I feel the same way, Tammy. You started in 2003. I started in 2004. So we've been together
20
for
years.
almost 20 years.
We've been here a while.
I have
So-
a question. When you talk about the senior centers being understaffed, is that because lack of money or lack of people applying for jobs? Or
Lack of people applying. If you would have asked me a year ago before we did the salary adjustment, I would say lack of wages, but their wages are comparable now. So it would be staffing, like just people not wanting to apply.
we have that all around with all the jobs we advertise, and I think it's all over the county, people applying. And I keep thinking, we need to have a monthly fair job where we feed cookies. I don't know, and have people where people can come. We match them.
Yeah.
People can come. They want to look for a job. They can walk around and talk to people. Because sometimes it's a link. Something is missing somewhere. I don't know if people are not reading our ads or they're not looking at things. We need somehow a place, and maybe we can do that in combination with job service, where we can find a place where once a month people can come there and look for jobs, and everybody that has a job to offer can be there and explain, and whoever's looking for a job, they can come. And maybe they'll get an idea of what opportunities are there, because I think we have a problem in the county. I think there's plenty of jobs, but it's trying to match them. And we have people, they have been in a job, for many, many years, and maybe they're afraid to jump to something new, something that will bring more money, and maybe they can free those jobs for younger people, for teenager. I know older people working in jobs that probably hard on their legs, just being on the feet all the time and things like that. But I don't know, maybe something that we can try to brainstorm and create an opportunity, a place that can be one time in Monticello and the next month can be in Blondie. We can take it, back and forth in different places, but it's going to benefit the people with a job. It's going to benefit us to have somebody working for us, and it's going to benefit the economy too. So it's going to do multiple things if we somehow figure something we can do. And I don't know, we can brainstorm a little bit more about that. But
Mine tend to be hard to fill because they're part-time, non-benefited.
so your jobs are part-time.
The ones that are not are the 4 center directors, and we have 2 staff that are shared between 2 centers. That the only way we were able to fill a gap in one center was to make a part-time go full-time, but they're spread between
And you see, that's a
multiple
good way
centers.
think too. I mean, to figure out how we can do that.
Yeah.
Because somebody may like a sharing job. You know,
Yep.
there's some, somebody that may be just working just for a little bit more. And so job sharing may be an opportunity that we can figure it out. And
So
in job sharing, you get two fresh people sometimes,
very true.
instead of one tired all day.
So,
Like me.
Well-
Anyway, did you have anything for us? Anything you want from us?
I just appreciate your guys' willingness to spend an hour with me and listen to me talk about everything I do and your support.
So how many people work under you? If it,
For aging, 11.
okay.
For emergency management, Natalie and I. So 11.
11 people. Okay.
Yep.
Jamie, are you still there? Do you have any questions or comments for Tammy?
Yeah, I'm still here. Just want to say muchas gracias
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
and appreciate
I still trying to say
all the organization. It's a huge taking. So thank you for working with Navajo Nation and everyone down south, UNHS. That's important, and I'm just very grateful for that collaboration. So thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That's the only comments I have, commissioners. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good job.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, looks like we have just
We got 45 minutes before commission meeting starts, so we're going to adjourn this meeting and we'll be back in 45 minutes.